All right, I'd like to call the May 11th, 2021 meeting of the Traffic and Parking Advisory Board to order. Good afternoon and welcome. The Traffic and Parking Board reviews items of interest regarding parking and traffic items. We are an advisory board and our favorable recommendations today will go before the Oshkosh Common Council. The council can accept or reject any recommendation. If the board does not recommend an item, a common council member may sponsor a new ordinance regarding this item. All items require two readings before All items require two readings before the Common Council. The first reading will take place on Tuesday, May 25th at 6 p.m., and you'll be allowed to comment on the item at that time, though the council will take no action. On Tuesday, June 8th at 6 p.m., the item will be on a second reading, at which time the council will take action. You will again be allowed to speak at that meeting. For this afternoon, I will read each agenda item, at which time, if you'd like to speak, please give your name and address. I ask that you keep your comments pertinent to the agenda item. The item will then come back to the board for discussion and action. Please note comments received via email or mail or phone have been shared with the board and will become a part of the minutes. Our first order of business is to have the roll call. Will you do that, please, Jane?
Schneider?
Here.
Christensen?
Here.
Marone?
Here.
Hanson?
Here.
And Staple.
Here. And then we move to agenda item number 1, which is approval of the April 13th meeting. If there are no questions or comments, are there any? Okay. And hearing none, can I get a motion and a second to approve the minutes at this time?
So move.
Okay, thank you. Is there a second?
No, second.
I can second.
All right, thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, will you take the vote, please, Jane?
Schneider?
Aye.
Christensen?
Aye.
Maroney?
Aye.
Hanson?
Aye.
And Staple.
Aye. And that brings us to agenda item number 2. And if Jim would like to introduce our new council liaison to the board, that'd be great.
Yeah, so Courtney Hanson's our new council liaison for the next year. So I will let Courtney, if you want to introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Courtney Hanson. I am a lifelong resident of Oshkosh. I was born here, raised here. I went to school at UWO for small business management, and I'm just happy to be a part of the community. Anything else? Is that good?
Oh, thanks.
Sounds good. Thank you and welcome.
Yes, welcome.
Glad to have you with us. So the next item we have on our agenda is the election of the board chair and vice chair. And I guess unless there are strong objections to it, I'm hoping we'll decide we're going to go in person for our next meeting. And then we'll have, there's one person who hasn't ever been able to get onto the meetings, and Dan Becker will be there too. So I'm thinking in my mind, it makes more sense to wait until our next meeting to have that election. So if anybody agrees with that, could we make a motion to that effect and get a second? Was that a so moved? Your audio's off. Okay, a motion and a second. We'll take the thumbs up as that. Is that okay with everybody? Assuming it's okay, could you call the roll, please, Jane? To table it or whatever we're doing. I don't know what we're doing. Parliamentary procedures. Whatever we're doing.
What tabling it?
I think that's that sounds like that's what the board wants, is to table it until next month, which would make some sense because we do have, like Jim mentioned, Dan Shazinski, who's on the board that has not been able to get on with the virtual. Yeah. He said he'll be back, once we go in person, but the technical part was too difficult for him. And then I don't know, Dan couldn't make it tonight, but yeah, it's up to the board. We can either proceed because it's noticed, or you can table it.
I guess I'd like to table it because I'd like to nominate Dan to be chair, but I hate to do that in his absence.
Let's do it.
No. Okay, can you take the roll, please, Jane, to table?
Sure. Juan Schneider,
Your audio's off. Is that a yes or a no?
Okay.
Oh, here. Aye.
okay.
What do you want?
Christensen,
Aye.
Christensen,
Aye.
Maroney. Hanson
Aye.
and Staple.
Aye. So that brings us, thank you very much. That brings us to agenda item number 5, a request to fix an existing ordinance on
Oh,
Sawyer
wait.
Street. Whoops.
We gotta go back to 4.
Oh,
Sorry.
4, sorry. That probably good to do tomorrow, right? So number 4, request for 2-hour parking on Oregon Street. So Jim, if you want to bring us into that.
Sure. So this is a request for 2-hour parking from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. On the west side from 15th Avenue to 79 feet north. And Karen's on with us. But she purchased that building a little over a year ago. And there's several business tenants in the building, and they have appointments and or have people running in to pick up, drop off documents. And their vehicles that are parked in there for quite a long time, which is limiting their access to their front door. I think there's plenty of parking area. I think it's a reasonable request. So Karen can explain it better. And in the meanwhile, while she's doing that, I'll try to share where it is.
Okay, awesome. Yes, my husband and I just bought this building just over a year ago. And we've noticed that there is parking and there's no restricted parking at all on Oregon Street in front of our building. And we do tend to get people who will park there for 8 hours or more while they work at a business down the block a bit. So what I'd like to do is simply limit it to 2 hours between the hours of 8 to 6 during normal business hours. That is the same type of parking we have on the 15th Avenue side of our building. So it'd simply be the same on both sides of our building. Any questions that I can help? Jim, are you talking? I can't.
Yeah,
hear
I just
you.
want, I don't know how to use this. So I
Jim.
I guess, hi, Karen. My question is roughly how many parking spaces is that changing? You know?
1.5.
Okay, so
I
it's
mean,
not like it's not like we're taking 100 places people are parking for whatever. We're just taking a minimal amount.
Just in front of my building, because there is a duplex next to me that I don't want to disturb their parking. If they want to park in front of their place all day, that's fine. It's literally in front of my building.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, I was trying to share it here, but doesn't look like it's sharing the right screen.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's basically, I don't know if you can see this or not, but it's where this truck is parked.
No, we can't see it.
Let's see ones.
Yeah, I have no problem if they park in front of their own business all day, but not mine.
Right, I get
So,
that.
Yeah. And I put up with it for, well, we've been here, like I said, just over a year, and I've given it thought, and I've thought, well, let's see what the city can do for me.
Does anybody else have any questions or comments? Thoughts? So hearing none, I believe you, you have a recommendation on this, Jim?
Yeah, I'm in favor of it. I think it makes sense. I mean, it's not restricting the parking, completely. It's only restricting it for, short-term parking, which in a business area, that's what it probably should be anyway.
Right. Okay.
And like I said, there's plenty parking in that area, so it's not like there's nowhere else to park there.
Hey, there you go. The picture's up.
Okay.
Look at that.
So
Awesome.
yeah. So it's basically where that truck is. So it'd just be from, the driveway to the corner.
So hearing no comments, I'm looking for a motion to either grant the request as Jim is recommending or not. Can I get one either way, please? And a second so we can discuss further.
Motion to approve the requested 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. parking on Oregon.
Okay, thanks, Lisa. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, okay, and are you both okay with we make it to whatever the words are that Jim had in our document?
Yes.
Okay. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, would you take the roll, please, Jane?
Juan Schneider,
Aye.
Christensen,
Aye.
Maroney,
Aye.
Hanson,
Aye.
and Staple.
Aye. Thank you very much. Thanks, Karen.
You're welcome. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, I guess now that moves us on to agenda item 5, a request to fix an existing ordinance on Sawyer Street. So. you wanna
Yeah,
take
so
it?
this is just a cleanup basically. When we put bike lanes on Sawyer Street, somehow the wording wasn't exactly right. So this basically what it would do is it would have the ordinance would then line up with what's actually out on the street. So it should be no parking east side from 225 feet south of Witzel to 20 feet north of Porter. And currently it reads 225 feet south of Witzel to 4th. So that's actually, whenever this was put in place years ago, they should have went north instead of south because there is now parking and it's actually straight for parking south of that 225 feet. So as you can see here, so basically right now it's saying there's no parking from here this way, and it should be no parking from here that way. So we're just fixing an existing ordinance to match this, what's actually out there painted on the street. So there's really technically no change as to what's signed and striped. It's just fixing the ordinance.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve that? Anybody?
So move.
Motion to approve.
Okay, and there's a second there too. I'll take it. Any further discussion?
No.
All right, can we vote, Jane?
Juan Schneider,
Aye.
Christensen,
Aye.
Maroney, Lisa,
I think you muted, Lisa.
Oh.
okay, Hanson,
Aye.
and Staple.
Aye. Okay, and then that brings us to agenda item 6 of having future meetings be virtual or in person. I've already expressed my preference for in person, but is there anybody that feels differently before we put a motion on the floor one way or the other? Okay, then I would love to have a motion that we have our future meetings, as long as it's allowed by whatever rules are governing us, in person. Somebody want to make that motion?
I would like to make that motion, please.
Okay, thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Okay, Jane, could we take the vote, please, again?
Juan Schneider,
Aye.
Christensen,
Aye.
Maroney,
Aye.
Hanson,
I thought I
Hanson.
saw an eye. You were muted, though, I think.
Sorry. Aye.
and Staple.
Aye. And that brings us up to future agenda items. Does anybody have anything to add to the meeting, either Jim or anybody on the commission at your next agenda?
The only thing I have is I was just going to update you on, oh, well, first with the in-person meetings, and I'll let you know if or what the protocol is for, I know Dan always asks me what the mask protocol was, so I guess we'll see what that is when that comes. That's a month away, so we'll let you know at that time. But the e-scooter regulations, that is actually on the council agenda tonight. So I know last meeting that the board had asked for an update. So what's on the agenda tonight is the city attorney had taken the feedback from this board as well as the feedback from the Bike and Pedestrian Committee and has drafted an ordinance for council to consider. So where that currently is at, the feedback from the boards was this board was opposed to e-scooters in general, but especially on the sidewalk and on streets that were more than 25 miles an hour. Bike and Ped was okay with them, but not on the sidewalk. Everyone seemed to be opposed to dockless systems. So this would probably be related to dock systems. So that's how the ordinance is currently drafted. It would allow e-scooters in bike lanes or on roads with a speed limit of less than 25 miles an hour. And then we'll see where the council takes it from there. But that's how it's currently drafted based on the feedback that the boards gave.
Okay, thank you, Jim. Do you know, is there anything in the ordinance that requires them to make a minimum amount of noise so they can't just sneak up on you?
Yeah, it's not specific in the ordinance, but in the state statute, it does require that. That's actually in the state statute. It's the same thing for bicycles, that you are required to make some type of audible signal if you encounter or if you're passing a pedestrian, and you also are required to exercise due care. Now, to what extent and how those are enforced, I don't know, but that's what the statute states.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else have any other questions? Did Lieutenant Hodder have anything to add to the meeting? See, you're listed there.
I do not. Thanks for asking, though.
All right, thank you for coming to the meeting. With that, anything to add to the agenda for next time? Hearing nothing, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
I second.
Okay,
Yeah, I think I want to ask about the Jackson Street project as far as where the scrubbing and the removal and the repainting. Now, where are we at with that, Jim?
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's we almost got the bid specs ready. So let me look once. I think our engineering department was working on that, but he just sent me an email. Let's see. We're bidding that along with a couple parking lot projects. So he put together the deadline. So it looks like planning on doing advertisement June 8th, putting those plans and specs out for bid on June 18th, with bid opening July 2nd, council award July 13th. So I'm assuming then that if council awarded it on July 13th, then they could start anytime after that. Then it would kind of be based on what the contractor's schedule is.
Would be, of course, the project being delayed because of the EAA fly-in. Will we have a time to get it in before that?
It won't happen before EAA. It'll probably happen. I would assume it'll happen in August.
Okay, so spring.
Yeah, because I know that's a good point. We usually do request contractors to not work that week, or at least
Right.
not to impact travel that week for sure.
Right. Right, so it will take place, but after the EAA fly-in.
Yep, that's what it looks like.
Oh, okay,
okay. Any other questions? Otherwise, I'd ask Jane to call the vote to adjourn.
I didn't hear who was the first for adjournment.
Go ahead. Does anybody remember? I think Courtney was second, but I don't remember who was first. Well, can I have another person to move to adjourn? So we have two.
Move to adjourn.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, so Lisa and Courtney.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Okay. Juan Schneider,
yeah,
Christensen,
Aye.
Maroney,
Aye.
Hanson,
Aye.
and Staple.
Hi. Thanks very much. Welcome, Courtney. Have fun. Enjoy what's left of a nice day.
All right.
Thanks,
Thanks, everyone.
bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.